Everybody, and happy Super Bowl Sunday. This is the Two Old Farts. My name is Chuck.
Yeah, I'm Lou, and I'm an Eagles fan today.
I'm an Eagles fan too.
Yep. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Hey, to everybody out there, I know we said we were going to try to do a lot of history and important people and their contributions and leaders. But today, everything is going to be everything Super Bowl Sunday because, frankly, last weekend, I didn't realize that this Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. Did
Oh,
you?
wow. Yeah, I knew it was. I got it on my calendar. But that's good. I got some research and some really interesting stuff on the Tuskegee Airmen
Right.
and the Buffalo Soldiers.
And we will be doing those in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll do like the Buffalo Soldiers first, because they're the one that got this history started. And boy, I'm gonna tell you, there are several Medal of Honor winners in that group. 18 of them, if I remember correctly.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? There is one general, Benjamin O. Davis, who's associated with both of those groups. So we'll just save that information.
Okay.
So like that.
So I know I went and looked up some little juicy tidbits on the Super Bowl. Some are football related, some aren't.
Yeah, some too. Before we get started, though, I got three funny quotes for you.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac?
First part, yes. Second part, no. I don't care if you're going faster than me. I'll just get in behind you.
Who said that? Probably one of your favorite people.
Who said it?
George Carlin.
Who doesn't like George Carlin?
Yep. Then why do they call it rush hour when nothing moves?
That's a good question.
Robin Williams. Yeah. And then in real life, I assure you there's no such thing as algebra.
I believe that.
You got to take it in high school, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Fran Lebowitz.
Fran Lebowitz?
Yes. I thought that was kind of funny. We get this thing kicked off on a kind of funny note.
Hey, here's a funny little tidbit on the Super Bowl and the viewership. So the game, how many of a percentage? Give me a percentage. What percentage of people that watch the Super Bowl, the game is the most important?
Oh, about 20%.
Double that.
40.
42% for people who watch the game is the most important.
Most people they're looking at the commercials.
Okay, that's the next one. What percentage of people watch it just for the commercials?
Oh, well, I'm gonna say 30%.
Half of that. Almost. It's 19%.
Okay. Because I got some stuff.
Okay. And the halftime show, what percentage of people watch it think that that's the most important?
40%.
18.
18.
Yep.
So that's the only subject. I didn't do any research on the entertainment. I did research on the games and stuff like that, and attendance prices, ticket prices and stuff.
So speaking of money, which one of these groups has the highest percentage of money spent on? Food and beverages, team apparel, TVs, decorations, or furniture?
Say it one more time.
Which of these groups has the most money spent for the Super Bowl that people spend money on? Is it food and beverages, team apparel, TVs, decorations, or furniture?
Food and beverage.
By 79% of all the funds spent are on food and beverages.
And I'm going to give you some cost of some foods here in a few minutes. Something way back then on Super Bowl I and compared to right now.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll get to that. That's way down in my stack of lists.
Okay.
But today, there can be some history made.
Okay.
One, Chiefs could be a three-peat, right?
Yes.
But also, Devontae Smith, an Alabama guy, right, can make history today.
Yes.
How?
And how? He would be only the fourth player to win a Heisman, win a national championship, win a Super Bowl, and I cannot remember what the other thing is. Or are those the three?
He'll be, there's five in that category, but actually there's one. Should the Eagles win, Tony Dorsett, Marcus Allen, and Charles Woodson, like you said. However, Marcus Allen is the only player with a Heisman Trophy, an NCAA National Championship, Super Bowl, and most valuable player and a Super Bowl NFL MVP and Super Bowl MVP. So which team has the most losses?
The Bills. Buffalo Bills.
The Patriots and the Broncos are tied with 5 losses.
Oh, dang.
The Patriots have won 6. The 49ers 5. Seahawks 3. Steelers have won. I'm sorry. Just forget about the Seahawks. Seahawks only won 1. The Steelers have won 6. Redskins 3. Raiders 3. Chiefs 4. Giants 4. And the Packers 4. Packers, I think, probably have, and the Giants have probably the best records. They're 5-4 of that. Then you got.
I wouldn't say that's the best. I'd say that's the worst.
Well, five games and 4 wins. So, yeah, so a little bit there. So pretty good numbers there for all those teams. I didn't look at too much stuff. The game was created as a part of a 1966 merger between the NFL and the AFL to have their best teams compete for a championship. And of course, we all know that the Green Bay Packers won that first one. First 2, as a matter of fact, right?
Yes.
So a little bit about the Chiefs. In 66, after several years of competition, Pete Rozelle and Lamar Hunt, owner of the AFL Kansas City Chiefs, negotiated a merger in which the two teams would formally join together in 70. That's really kind of how it got started, okay? The game's popularity took off as the Jets' shocking upset of the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III gave the AFL credit. So who is the quarterback?
For which one?
Super Bowl III.
Oh, Joe Willie Namath.
Joe Willie Namath. So that created the popularity. The Super Bowl is probably the most popular sport event in the history of the United States. Yeah. In 65, the players began negotiating to play for the competing league and all those kind of things. And back to the Packers, they beat the Chiefs 35-10 in 67 in the first championship game. Okay, so who's the oldest team, NFL team?
It's either the Chicago Bears or the Cleveland Browns.
Cardinals.
Really?
The Cardinals franchise dates back to 1898, making it the oldest professional football club in the NFL. And talk about history, Lamar Hunt started the negotiations, and he hired an assistant. Who was the first Chiefs coach? Do you remember?
I know Lamar Hunt was the owner of the Chiefs, but
Yeah.
I don't. Was it Greasy? Not Greasy.
Think about
Shula?
the Dakota Chiefs. Who was it when we won the national championship in Japan? Who was the coach?
I don't remember.
Hank Stram.
Ah, really?
Yep. He was to be the head coach, and after the job was declined by Bud Wilkinson and Tom Landry. A little bit on the Eagles side. The team plays their home games at Lincoln Field in South Philadelphia. They were established in 1933 as a replacement for the bankrupt Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. So in 2025, 14 individuals with the Eagles have been inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Some of these guys you'll remember. Eric Allen.
Don't remember him.
Chuck Bednarik.
Yes, Bedardnik.
Huh?
Chuck Bedardnik or Bednarnik or something like that.
Well, I call it Bednarik. Burt Bell, Bob Brown, Harold Carmichael, Brian Dawkins, Sonny Jurgensen.
Yeah, I remember those last two.
Greasy Neal, Tommy McDonald, Pete Fios, I don't know, P-I-H-O-S, Norm Van Brocklin.
Yep.
Steve Van Buren.
Yep.
This one's going to get you. Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, the coach.
Yep. And Reggie.
He took them to their first Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl, but they went.
Yep. And of course,
I think they lost to the Steelers, didn't they?
Yes. The Eagles rank among the best in NFL for attendance and have sold out every home game continuously since the 1999 season. Well,
but they also have the worst fans. They've been known to throw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Among other things too, right?
They are probably the worst fans in the NFL.
So how many players we got from Alabama playing today?
That I don't know, but I have another tidbit for you about that.
Well, I'll tell you.
As of 2023, Alabama and Purdue are tied for first in producing the most number of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Yep. 4, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Today we got Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Eli Ricks, Byron Young, Cameron Latu, and Tyler Sheen. And the Chiefs have none.
I know there's a lot of people out there that feel that the fix was in to get the Chiefs into the Super Bowl again this year. And you want to know why? Because last year they set an all-time viewership record for the Super Bowl.
Yep. And it's going to be even more this year with the relationship between Taylor Swift and Kelsey.
Yes.
Yeah. So how much did a Super Bowl commercial cost for 30 seconds throughout the history of the Super Bowl?
I don't know, but I remember towards the end of my high school years, maybe 1984, they had the first $1 million commercial, I want to say, somewhere around there.
Super Bowl one, an ad cost $37,500. This year, about $8 million.
I was thinking about 7. So yeah.
So that's a lot of money, right?
For some people.
What year has the highest Super Bowl broadcast rating?
Last year.
Nope.
You sure about that?
Yep. 1982. It has the highest rated Super Bowl broadcast. It earned a 49.1 household rating.
Okay.
Then so which Super Bowl commercial? What's the best Super Bowl commercial of all time?
The little kid, the Coke, Mean Joe Green.
Nope.
Don't know.
Apple, 1984.
That was the year I think that didn't they set the record at that time for the first commercial to be over $1 million?
Right. And then this followed by Parisian Love on Google, then the Taco Bell Very Young, then the Tide, then the Pepsi commercial, and a Pepsi diner. So who has spent the most money on a commercial? What company?
Pepsi.
Nope. Budweiser.
I can believe that. That makes sense.
Yep. It remains the king of the Super Bowl ads. They've allocated $470.5 million on ads between the first big game in '67 and Super Bowl, 1920, in 2020 rather. So that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
How about the most valuable player award?
Who's won the most?
Yep.
That's easy. That's Tom Brady.
Yep. He's the only player to have won 5 Super Bowl awards, 4 with New England and 1 with Tampa Bay. Who are the next 2? One of your favorite players of all time.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw and Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes. But 3 other players, Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw, and Eli Manning, have won the award twice.
I liked all those quarterbacks. I thought very highly of Eli Manning. Growing up as a kid in the 70s, there was only 2 teams. It was the Cowboys and the Steelers. They ruled the roost in the 70s, but I always was partial to the Steelers, and I don't know why. I loved the running back Rocky Bleier, Terry Bradshaw. Lynn Swann, to me, was probably the quintessential wide receiver that all wide receivers today probably are modeled after.
I agree with you. I love the Steelers too. I like the coach here, and then you go back. I forgot the name of the coach.
Chuck Noll. Chuck Noll was the coach.
Oh yeah, and with Rocky Bleier.
Yes.
And I believe Rocky Bleier had half of
his foot shot off from Vietnam.
Yeah.
He was drafted by the Steelers and then got drafted into the Army or Marine Corps, and he went to Vietnam.
Right.
And to the Steelers ownership credit, they kept him on and brought him back, even though he was injured, and they let him get a chance to play his way onto the team again. That's a lot of class. A lot of class.
Not only that, it earned them a lot of money. Because I'm going to tell you, he was good. And then Starr, Bradshaw, and Mahomes are the only ones that won it back to back. The MVP has come from the winning team every year except 1971, when Dallas Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley won the award despite the Cowboys lost to the Baltimore Colts. Then Harvey Martin and Randy White were co-MVPs of Super Bowl 12. The only time co-MVPs have been chosen. 7 Cowboy players have won Super Bowl MVP awards, the most of any team. Quarterbacks have earned the honor 33 times in 58 games and 59 awards. Interesting.
Yeah.
So who's expected to win today?
I didn't look. I'm sure the Chiefs are probably favorite.
What I was able to find, the Eagles continue to get more bets than the Kansas City Chiefs ahead of the game today. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5 points over the Eagles, but the Eagles have received 52% of the bets and 64% of the money bet against the spread of the bet at MGM as of Sunday morning. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, the Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite, and the over under is 48.5.
Yeah. But then more money has been bet on the Eagles.
It could be a sucker bet.
Yeah. I know. I just been an Alabama guy, and both of us are. And we got those 7 players. That says something about the Eagles on their draft process. So and I love the Chiefs. I love Patrick Mahomes, and I like the coach. He's one of my favorite coaches, but got to root for it. So, how much are the tickets for today's game?
Oh, I have no idea. $15,000-$20,000 a ticket.
They're averaging around $86.50.
Okay.
With the comparable seats costing up to $12,000 on Ticketmaster. So in Super Bowl I, how much did food cost? Well, let's go back. How much was the ticket price in Super Bowl I?
$25.
$12.
12?
$12. In fact, that's the only game that wasn't sold out.
That makes sense too. Yeah.
So,
hey, as of today, for this year's Super Bowl, which college has the most players on the field?
Alabama.
Nope. And they've held this for the last 3 years.
Ohio State.
You're getting closer geographically, but not.
Michigan.
Nope, going the wrong way. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Wow, that's
seven players.
That's not surprising.
Who's the next team? On the field today.
Alabama.
Close. Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Now, who's the next team? So Oklahoma has 7. Georgia has 6. Alabama has 4. Who's the next team? Let's stay in the same conference.
Florida.
That is correct. So they have 4 also. All right. Let's stay very close, but jump out of the SEC, but very close to Florida. What team is next?
I might say Ohio State.
Florida State.
Florida State. Okay.
They got 3. Okay, and the next 2 teams are Michigan and Clemson. They both have 3.
Okay.
Then Texas with 3, Penn State with 3, Memphis with 3, Stanford with 3.
Okay.
And then teams with 2 players each would be Georgia Tech, Nebraska, Texas A&M, Wisconsin, USC, Pittsburgh, Indiana, Washington, Marshall, Cincinnati, Washington State, Toledo, and Mississippi State. Not too bad, huh?
No, it's not.
So I think it says the SEC has 33 players in the NFL on the field today. The Big Ten with 21, ACC with 19, FCS and lower is 9. Big 12 5, AAC with 4, and Sun Belt with 3.
Wow. So going back to the prices. So how much is the room going to cost in New Orleans today?
Oh my goodness. $10,000.
You're close. At the old number 77 Hotel in Chancery, $11,895. And a premium room at that same hotel is $13,925. At one of the other hotels in New Orleans, $14,975. In the Intercontinental New Orleans, $15,985. So you paying $9,000 for a ticket, $15,000, $16,000 for a room. That's $25,000. Hell, how do you make that a year?
Well, just think, you said a comparable ticket on Ticketmaster was like 12,000. So let's just split the difference between that 14 and 10, and let's say you spent 12,000 on a ticket and 12,000 on a hotel room. That's almost $25,000 for one day.
Yeah.
And you ain't bought any food.
And that's on the cheap end.
And you have not bought a hot dog, a beer. How much is a beer at the game? Do they know that?
Yep, $19.
Wow, why isn't it even 20? Isn't that crazy?
And a hot dog is $5. And what item is bought the most? What food item is purchased the most?
Nachos.
Nope.
Popcorn.
Nope.
Peanuts.
Nope.
Pretzels.
Nope.
Hamburger.
Nope. That's
Barbecue.
Nope. Chicken wings.
Oh my goodness.
Strange stuff, right?
I don't recall seeing a lot of chicken wings at sports venues.
Yep, but at the Super Bowl, that's item is purchased the most. Yeah. So which Super Bowl costs the most?
For food or ticket? What?
When you're talking about fireworks and stuff like that. The halftime shows. I'm talking the halftime shows. Sorry.
Was it with Lady Gaga?
She was in 2017, 10 million. Then 2001, Aerosmith, NSYNC, 11 million each. Then Prince in 2007 was 12 million. Beyonce in 2013 was 600,000.
That's Beyonce.
Beyonce. 2020, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. Now, the southern accent from Alabama don't help. Missing these two front teeth don't help either. So
yeah, you're triple handicap between being from the South, missing your front teeth, and then you have like almost zero pop culture knowledge.
And being an old fart on top of that.
That is because you are an old fart.
Okay, but here's some prices. At Hard Rock, taking things to a Super Bowl, Hunger fans will sell $16 for a hamburger. Will pay $16 for a hamburger, $15 for popcorn, $14 for a bottle of Bud Light, or a carved beef tenderloin sandwich for $28. These prices are par for the course. Hot dogs are $5, and chicken wings, like I said, is sold the most in the Super Bowl.
Can't recall getting chicken wings at a football game.
No. Who made the statement, football is for food?
Don't know.
Matthew McConaughey.
I can't see him saying that.
Yep. Then Tom Super said in a release, there will be pizza, guacamole, chips, and dips. When it comes to Super Bowl, chicken wings ruled the roost. In truth, 1.47 billion chicken wings is a lot of wings. That's just some of the fun facts things that we're looking up.
And you know what? That's a good wrap up right there, because we're coming right up on 30 minutes.
Yep. And who do you think is going to be the key players today?
Obviously Mahomes. I'd say Jalen Hurts, obviously, because this is a quarterback driven league now. I'm really hoping I'll get more Saquon Barkley and Devontae Smith over Travis Kelce and Mahomes. And I think that's probably why the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, because they've got a great running back. They've got, again, I just love Devontae Smith. Ever since it was 2nd and 26 with Tua, when they benched Jalen Hurts to tie the game.
And
then the next year, they benched Tua and put Jalen in. Can you believe that?
And speaking of that, I read a comment this morning. You have any idea what Jalen Hurts said after he was benched? Somebody asked him about him being benched. He said, I just won a national championship. Is that class or what, huh?
Yep.
I got to go, and our good friend Stan up in heaven, so we're going to really be rooting for him today because he was a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan.
So, yeah, I miss Stan. He was a good one. He was class.
Yes, he was. One of the last conversations we had when I saw him just before he passed away, he was talking about the Eagles, how excited he was for them. So Stan, today this one's for you.
And last parting comments, back to Alabama. They finally got Ryan Grubb, who was supposed to have come with Kalen DeBoer, but he got hired on by the Seahawks, subsequently was fired at the end of the season, and now he's back with Kalen DeBoer in Alabama, and I think that is going to help turn the tide offensively for the Crimson Tide. I'm hopeful. I still believe in Kalen DeBoer. I think he was the right person. How do you fill the shoes of one of the all-time greats? Yes, I agree with you and a lot of other people who believe, mostly truth, that there was a lack of discipline on the team this year, and I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional by the coach coming in and not trying to be one way or the other. I don't know. But this is a piece of advice that I give everybody that I work with. If they ever ask me about what should I do, how should I be, especially if they're filling somebody else's shoes, and I tell them there's only one thing you can do, and is be you. Because you can't be anybody else but you. And if you do that, you will be successful.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And the more I think about what we talked about before, with Ryan coming in, his system was very successful. Has been for years and years. There's a lot of turmoil out in that Seattle process.
Yes.
I can see sometimes you're the GOAT. I just, in the 2026 class right now, Alabama is predicted to be one of the top, if not the top recruiting class in 2026.
Yes, in 2026, yeah.
That says a lot. It says that people still believe in the coach. They still believe in the Alabama program. Well, they wouldn't be committing. They have to like that philosophy and that coaching staff around, or those players wouldn't be going there. Players have a lot more opportunities today, a lot more choices of where they play ball than they did years ago.
They do.
And I think that's great because these young men and women or whatever sports they're playing in, they're trying to make their way in life. They're trying to make some money for them to better their lives, and so
and take care of their families who have suffered and did without to help them get there.
And think about Devontae Smith and what he did for his family, his mom, and where he came from. Those are you just gotta love those guys, and it just makes it even that much greater when they win. I'm hoping he's going to be the fifth guy with the Super Bowl, national championship, and I like to see him be the MVP.
It'd be great if it's anybody but a quarterback.
Yeah,
because they seem to always give the MVP to the quarterback.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a good one. And next week we'll talk about Buffalo Soldiers, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have a good one, and big shout out. And before we go, we got to give a big shout out to all your cousins in California. Jessica Metz is one of our cousins, one of our nieces. I just saw she's one of our friends on our podcast. She has downloaded our podcast. So
Okay.
Bridget and all those guys, y'all keep listening.
Yes. We need all 10 of you who consistently download our podcast. Maybe 5 do it intentionally. Maybe the other 5 are accidents. I don't know. But thank you.
We'll get there, and hopefully another couple months I'll get ready to have something to fill up these 2 gaps here.
The most important reason why I do this is for you to have some fun with you, just to share, just whatever.
That's fun.
It is.
So have a good one. We'll see you next week. And you guys give us some feedback.
Yes, please give us some feedback on the socials. Y'all be good. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.